Welcome to Networking Nuggets, the show where we dig deep into the art of building powerful connections. I'm your host, Janaea Hernandez, and each episode we bring you inspiring stories, practical tips, and expert advice from industry leaders and networking pros. Whether you're a seasoned professional or starting your career, this is the place to discover how to leverage networking and mentorship to fuel your success. Get ready to unlock the secrets of effective networking, develop meaningful relationships, and cultivate a community that empowers you. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's dive into today's episode of Networking Nuggets. Wait. Remember, in the world of networking, it's all about practical advice for powerful networks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Networking Nuggets. I'm your host, Janaea Hernandez, and today we're diving into a heartwarming topic. Oh, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one. Family and nursing. And I have the right trio for this topic, so get ready. Joining me is an inspiring trio from the same family, because it could go either way, right? It could be a trio of friends, but I want to make sure we set the foundation that these individuals are actually related. It's like mom and children. So we're getting into it. I know I'm getting excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves one by one so that you can get a feel for the atmosphere. Take it away. Kim, we'll start with you.
Hi, everybody. Kim Lumia. I'm a registered nurse, been a nurse since 2000, and so work in leadership. And thank you, Janaea, for having us here today.
Yes, very excited. Who's going to take the ball next? Jeffrey, you want to go?
Sure, I'll go. Hi, my name is Jeffrey Lumia. I am a registered nurse as well as of 2024. I just got my bachelor's degree from Quinnipiac University last year, and I started my job at the Hospital of Central Connecticut ICU as of June of 2024.
Congratulations. All right, last but never least, Isabella.
Hi, I'm Isabella Lumia. I'm graduating in May of this year with my associates in nursing and will be sitting for the NCLEX soon after. I have a position also at Hospital of Central Connecticut in the emergency department, and I'm happy to be here.
I mean, welcome. I'm very excited to dig into this interview, and I want to know, I know this is the question for everyone in the audience. What made the both of you go into nursing, seeing mom already in nursing? Isabella, you go first.
So for me, I think it was, my mom has always been like the go-to person in our family. Like, she is such a role model when it comes to like being a symbol of like strength and just like knowledge, just kind of that person that everybody goes to. And her nursing knowledge and her leadership and administration knowledge, like, definitely bleeds through into our family life. Additionally, like, as I was growing up, I had some health issues. I had SVT. I was in and out of the hospital a lot. So I just was like, kind of felt a calling, which didn't happen till like end of high school, I want to say, because I was trying to avoid it. I was like, I'm not going to go in nursing. I'm gonna do it. And then what did I do? I went into nursing. But I love it. And it's just been like kind of a love that's been passed down to me, I think.
You do have an outstanding role model. We're going to get into it. I was just saying, audience, I was trying to steal their mom for a small fraction of a price, and they really didn't budge. So, but as the interview go on, you'll see why. You'll see why. Jeffrey, what's your take? What made you want to follow in mom's footsteps?
Izzy really said it really well, but in terms of my experience, I remember when I was a little kid, and my earliest memories of going to visit my mom and when she worked at St. Rayfield's in the ICU there, and we were just, we were the little kids that sat at the desk and pressed buttons and did the little fun stuff that you remember as a kid. And then growing up, I saw her kind of go up the ranks within healthcare and healthcare leadership. And I don't know, I think nursing has just so much possibilities whether you want to go back to school eventually, or, you could hop around, you could do travel nursing, you could hop around within different units. So I thought it was a great career in terms of, I'll try it out. If I didn't like a specific area within the hospital or outpatient, whatever I wanted to do, there's always something. So I definitely saw how my mom was able to go from, nursing and then kind of branch out from there. So I kind of like that idea. I think it's one of the very unique things about nursing in the healthcare field altogether. So
do you see yourself going into nursing administration? Do you see that in your future? Right now you're in ICU, correct?
Yeah, currently I'm in the ICU. Right now within the next 10 years, I'm kind of thinking of going back to school and becoming a CRNA.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that's why I kind of wanted to get into the ICU, so we could get that pathway starting to roll a little bit. But you never know, whatever opportunities may arise, and I want to keep my head open when it comes to different opportunities. And if I'm able to take them and it's interesting and I feel like I could be a good fit, then obviously I would do it, and we'll see. But in terms of the next 10 years, I'm planning on going back to school and going from there.
That's in this time, I'm surprised. So kudos to you. When I hear and speak to young nurses, they're like, oh no, I just finished. I want to tackle this right now. So to see you still driven and motivated, you sound very much like your mom. Kim, how did
I figured the longer I'm out of it, the less likely I'm going to want to go back to school.
All right.
So I'm like, if I can get into an ICU, do some my experience, and I enjoy it, and I still want to go back to school, then it's probably better to do it sooner than later.
You're right. Yes, I'm like a serial student, so I wouldn't I wouldn't take. Kim will tell you, like, I'll just keep going and going and going. So I encourage you to keep going and getting all the certificates that you can, because sometimes it works in your benefits. Not all the time, but sometimes in the nursing field, definitely.
Right.
Kim, hearing the two of them speak, like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, you are a mom, right? And you're a powerful, woman leader, and you hear these two kids say these things and just oozing with wow. That's how I feel. Like, I get goosebumps, I get choked up. It brings me joy. It wasn't anything we ever talked about, like when they were little and said, oh, I'm going to be a nurse like mommy. It just sort of happened on their own. And it's phenomenal. I'm so proud of them. And as hard as healthcare is, because we all know it's hard.
Yes.
We always talk about do the right thing for the patient, stand up when it's not the right thing. And I'm just so very proud of them, for sure.
I mean, you're doing a phenomenal job, especially now with the nursing shortage in male nursing. So, I mean, you're just checking all the check boxes. So kudos to you. What advice would you give new nurses now who are looking, because healthcare right now, like to your point, is very difficult. The world right now is a little unsettling. So what advice would you give new grads coming in, if you could?
Me?
Yeah, you. We're all of you going to get a turn, but we want to hear from you, because you're doing something right over there.
Yeah. So at the Lumia School of Nursing, I think it's always do right and don't be afraid to speak up or stand up for what's right. I would say Izzy's always been the stronger child to, when there's conflict or argument, she's always the person with an opinion. And as a little girl, we've always sort of been proud and excited about, and sometimes we've got to temper that passion. What's been amazing for me to see with Jeffrey is more of a quiet child, and starting to see him when it started in high school and college, his inner voice of really standing up for things that he just didn't agree with. And I'm proud of that. So what I'd see to people that want to become a nurse, go into healthcare, definitely do it. I would not turn anyone away from it. It is a rewarding career.
Yes.
And when you're in the business of taking care of people, you can find a lot of joy in that and fulfillment. So I think if someone's passionate about it or interested, they should definitely do it. And then build a support system around you, people that you trust, role models that you value, mentors that will support you, and have them be your go-to. I think it's important to you, to all the work you do, those connections and networking, really, really important, going in as a new nurse.
Yes, I agree. Isabella, do you agree with Mom? And is there any other take you would add to that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's also like for me, I work as a tech right now, and it's easy sometimes to get like really overwhelmed. Sorry, my dog's chewing a bone. It's easy like to get very overwhelmed with everything that's going on, and you have patients who are going to be mean.
Yes.
And you have patients who are going to not like you. But at the end of the day, it's the worst day of their life. They don't want to be there. And right. You just want to do everything you can to make that feel a little better for them. And I always say I could have 10 really mean, awful patients in a night. And there's that one nice patient who will make me forget all of them.
That is correct.
And like my mom said, having a support network, like we're so lucky that we have kind of each other to bounce off of. We all know what like the struggle, quote unquote, is. So like we have that, like we can get home after a shift and be like, oh my goodness, and just kind of vent. But it's really, like my mom said, the most rewarding career, and I love everything about it.
So now you and Jeffrey both work nights. So Jeffrey, when you're coming in the morning, Mom is allowing you to still vent because she's heading out the door and you're heading in. So I want to know how that dynamic works because you guys work nights. So
yeah, I mean honestly, if I like to group them together. So when I'm actually on 2 of 4 right now. I'm doing 4 in a row right now.
Oh wow!
But when I do my 3 in a row, honestly. Unless it's something very like crazy that happened, I'll either wait until I get up for right before my next shift or like after my chunk is over because I just I'm just so exhausted and I have like a routine. I get up at a certain time, eat at a certain time, and then just get to work and get it done with. So after the 3 chunks, after my three days, I'll kind of decompress and be like, oh, I forgot to tell you this happened, or can you believe this? And so it's good because, we have a little bit of everything. We, obviously the 3 of us were within the healthcare, world now, but my dad has nothing. Like he hates especially when we talk about specific like things that happen. He's so.
Can we just have one family dinner without talking about medicine?
Yeah. So it's good because we have a little bit of both. We have the actual like people that are involved within healthcare, and then even my girlfriend, has no clue what anything really that I do at this point when it comes to like the ICU care, and she knows obviously I'm a nurse and all this stuff. But so when I tell her things, she doesn't believe it. Like she started to watch the show The Pit, and I was like trying to show her some of these things that are happening in the show, and I'm like, this is what I do, like in real life, and she's like, no way, that's real. I'm like, that's what I do for my job. So like, it's good because you got a little bit of everything.
So now when you guys have a cookout and the family sees the 3 of you coming, I take it they cluster you together and give you like strict boundaries. We're not talking about work today.
Definitely. Or there's a consult, right?
So yes.
You know that, right?
Can you take a look at my labs?
Yeah. Can you look at this wound? Can you look normal? Yeah.
Coming to the family baby shower with x-rays so that you can, yes, I understand. I understand. Yeah. So we are doing something special this week because it's Nurses Week, and
that's right.
That is why we have the 3 of you here, and we want to give advice to everyone on how the 3 of you have found work-life balance, right? Because you're lucky that you have something in common, you can talk about it, but when you want to just separate, it's probably even harder because you're coming home to other nurses. How do each of you, and I'll let you all take a turn, find that work-life balance? Like, how do you leave it, reset, and what advice could you give, our networking BFFs, if you could give any? Who wants to go first? Isabella, do you want to go first? You want to take it? Because you're a newer nurse to the team. So.
I am. I will take this. For me, I feel like, it is true. Like we're all nurses are going to be nurses in my case, and all of my friends are going to be nurses for the most part, but it's having that ability to like kind of just walk away at the end of the shift. Like for me, when I leave a shift, I'll get one good rant if it was a bad shift, and then drop it and then be like, you know what, move on. But even for school and stuff, just being able to get together with my friends, just go out, get a cup of coffee, and just not talk about healthcare for a little bit. I mean, it's a huge part of our lives and we love it. It's something that I love to talk about and I'm proud to talk about it. Because like this was never in the picture for me. I didn't even think I was going to college for a short time there. So
listen, it
it's
happens.
It's something I'm definitely like proud to be a part of, but just being able to, stop for a second, take a step back, maybe rant about your day and move on.
Love it. I rant all the time. So don't like literally I'm a ranter. I made it. I don't even think a ranter is a word, but we use it now in this.
Yeah, no, I think, and my boyfriend knows too. I'm like, I don't want advice. I just want to talk.
Yes, that is true. You got to use that disclaimer, when someone calls you and they say, is this a ranting moment? Are you looking for advice? So I come in and I'm like, no, this is a ranting moment. I'll call you back if I want advice. So I agree with that work-life balance. Jeffrey, how about, now that you know what me and Isabella does, how about you?
I think it's honestly definitely adjustment when I switched to nights and like having a work-life balance, because I don't know. Some people like the one on, one off type of thing. But like for me, I tried to do that when I was on orientation. And like it was really hard to have a work-life balance, because on the days off, it really was like you sleeping until, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, you're up in the afternoon for a little bit and you could do some things. But then the next day you're going back that night. So it's like you really didn't have a day off. So I kind of adjusted my schedule, and I've been starting to chunk more of my, days together. So that way I can really appreciate when I have a good chunk of off days off. So I like to do 3 days on, and then sometimes I'll do a schedule basically that I do. It gets me 8 days off on like the third week. So I can
you
really
said 8 days? 8 days off?
Yeah.
Oh, you have mastered the PTO schedule over there. Wow.
Yeah. Like I just honestly got 8 days off, and I went up to my dad. I was like, hey, I got 8 days off. I didn't take any PTO. You want to go on a little fishing trip? And so he was like, yeah, sure. So we booked a fishing trip down in Florida, and we were down there we rented a house, and we were just fished for 7 days. So like that for me is just like a complete reset in terms of my, again, something to do like that's relaxing, and that I can spend time with my dad, and, so there's stuff like that I just try to get away from it and not think about it. And then when I come back, I feel a little bit more refreshed and ready to go.
I think you just got me 8 more friends right there with the 8 PTO days.
Yes.
New nurses, are you listening?
Yeah.
Because we did not,
start on your weekend.
Yes.
You do 3 days on. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then you do 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off, 3 on. And then you get 8 off without taking any PTO.
Did you guys grab your notebooks for that? Me and Kim, the administrators, are not listening, but but I'll make sure that gets slowed down so that you can capture it.
Because you do every third weekend, Jeffrey. So it's nice. When we were working, it was every other. So
yeah, some systems are a little bit different, right?
That's right. Yeah.
No,
I noticed you all left me last because you know that I am not good at work-life balance. So let's just state that.
I do know that. Yes.
Yes. Everybody. Yeah. I see them all nodding.
We're worried. This is really an intervention.
So, yes, it's hard. Part of the reason it's hard is, the team, our system's been in a state of flux, and there's lots happening. And so when I go on vacation, I'm often, checking emails and participating in meetings. But I have to do a better job of that. I have to be better at being present in the moment, putting my phone away. My work-life balance, like, I love this time of year because my favorite thing to do is to sit outside at the lake, read a book, just relax, be with the family. I do love to go on vacation. Disney World's my favorite place. And then I do a lot of other things that fill my soul, like obviously my family, but then my second love is really the Make-A-Wish Connecticut Foundation. And so that helps me sort of balance the level of energy that I have so that I can put it towards something else and not always be wired for the work.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But so the Connecticut Make-A-Wish Foundation, touch a little bit on that. And is that something, so it's your passion, so that's not really work for you?
No.
So we consider that still taking that break because your involvement in there is rewarding. But for those who don't know, please elaborate a little bit, because I've had the pleasure of watching you in your area with Make-A-Wish, and it's made me want to be more involved, actually. So for those who don't know,
thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I became the board chair. I've been on the board for 4 years. I'm the board chair of Make-A-Wish Connecticut. My entire family's involved. We started our own family fundraiser about 3 years ago called Waves for Wishes. We have our 3rd annual event coming up, and we do a lot. Isabella and I are wish granters. We picked children. There's about 300 children in Connecticut waiting for their wishes to be granted. And it's just an amazing organization. Everything we do goes to the kids and their families, and just seeing one wish happen just makes you a believer. So that is definitely a passion, and it does help. And the other organization that I'm really involved in is one that you're involved in, is the Connecticut Association of Healthcare Executives.
Yes.
So those are really, mentoring and coaching and being involved with the students coming through the schools. That's another great way to share our love and passion for healthcare with others. And, I've been involved, over 13 years, and it's been great. Absolutely great.
Yes. First of all, both phenomenal organizations that if we need to know how to get involved with CT Make-A-Wish, how can we find you? I know how to find you.
Yeah.
I send people to you all the time, actually.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You would certainly go to makeawishconnecticut.org, and they have a website there. You can see all their events, how to become a wish maker, get involved. You want to volunteer your time, you want to sponsor. The Waves for Wishes event is up on their website. Again, it's June 7th at Longview Cider House in Southington. We move the event around each year. Last year it was in Wolcott. We have a great collaboration with Rogers Orchards and lots of local businesses, volunteers, wish families, wish kids, and people like you that come out, and we're trying to raise awareness. We've raised close to 20,000 last year, and the year before that's about 2 wishes. It's about $10,000 a wish.
Wow.
And we have that coming up. It'll be here before we know it. We're almost a month out.
I mean, this family is just inspirational. I can't thank you guys enough for joining and sharing your wisdom. I would like, before you go, to each share just one networking tip, if you could give to your pair, to me. This is a new time, so I'm learning the new language. Nursing is very different than when I started, and I think I've been in healthcare almost 25 years. If anyone does the math, I promise you, I will never tell my age. I've been 31 for a very long time. So, but if you could share with the audience one networking tip, what would it be? Jeffrey, you go first.
So in my opinion, I think like the biggest thing within networking is, kind of getting out of your comfort zone. As I was never really outgoing, person. It wasn't that I didn't like, talking to people. It's just, it was hard for me to start conversations, especially like going through high school. So when I started doing clinicals and stuff throughout my education, I kind of realized that, eventually I'm going to have, what I end up wanting to do is going to be all, controlled by me, and having conversations and, feeling a little bit uncomfortable at times just because, it's new people and you're in a new environment. I had literally zero healthcare experience. I never worked as a tech or anything. So I was really, everything that I experienced through school was completely new for me. And honestly, that would probably be my biggest tip, is to kind of get out of your comfort zone, have those conversations. You never know when you're going to see, other, healthcare executives or, other nurses when, you finally do get a job. And the same thing when it goes in school, like all your instructors and your peers. It's very important to have some sort of base relationship. So you never know one day if you're going to be working with them or, whatever opportunity might arise. So that would probably be my biggest thing. Also, probably joining like different organizations. Like I was thinking about joining the AACN, so for critical care nurses. And so you have a little bit of a community and to kind of bounce off of and see, the newest things within, your field. And so there's definitely a lot of opportunities for that. And I think it's just keeping your mind open to new opportunities and talking to new people.
You're doing a great job. I would have never known you were an introvert.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised, like, because I always played sports and I was always like very outgoing when it came to that and like my friends, but I didn't really branch out too much after that because I was always like traveling and playing with the same kids. So I had the same group of kids that I kind of grew up with, and I had my little, local home friends that I grew up with, but I didn't really, other than that, when I went to high school, I wanted to play hockey. So I did a bunch of interviews at a bunch of schools. And like, I dreaded that the most because I didn't know how to have an interview. I did not know, what to say in an interview. I'm just, a 14, 15-year-old kid that has no experience other than, playing sports. And they're asking me all these questions. And I'm like, now that I kind of have a little bit more experience and I've had, several interviews, that anxiety definitely is lessened. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Isabella, you're up. Networking advice. Now you're very social, so I'm interested in what I'm very interested in what your response is going to be.
I definitely am the more social one, I would say. My advice would be to talk to everybody all the time. Everybody has so many interesting stories. I go out studying with my friends. We'll go to like coffee shops or like a winery, and 9 times out of 10, there's a nurse or a healthcare person next to us. And they're like, oh, what are you studying for? Talk to those people. Really like make those connections. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Because at the end of the day, especially as nurses, we are like liquid gold nowadays. Yes. Like you are valuable. Talk to those people around you. Take advantage of like my school personally did like a Connecticut Student Nurse Association like banquet sort of thing at the AquaTurf, and it was like a networking event. Talk to those people, talk to those employers, go to job fairs, LinkedIn. There's so many different resources, and the first step is to just put yourself out there.
Yes. I do want to ask, you were studying at the winery?
Yes.
So we no longer use the library. The winery
we go to different like coffee shops. We go to winery, have a little charcuterie board while we're learning about myocardial infarction.
All right.
The library, I don't think I used the library either.
I don't know. Library.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my mom is always like, why don't you go to the library? I'm like, Mom, I don't want to. I want to sit in my room on my computer and do my studying.
The library is out. All right. Well, I should have saved this question for our segment, Toolbox or Trash. We play this game. I'm gonna let Kim give her networking advice, and then we're gonna play this game. And now that I know the library is out, I'm stunned. Did you know that, Kim? The library?
Well, yeah, because I watch how these guys study, and I'm like, I always went to the library. What do you mean? We're not going to the library, Mom. They look at me like I'm crazy.
My goodness, the winery! Yeah. I've got to step my game up. I'm in the wrong area of trying to network now.
Yes, we have to get our new locations.
Yes.
My tip is that introduce someone new. So take somebody under your wing. And I try to do this all the time. It's sort of the pay it forward concept.
Yes.
And so if I'm in the hospital or I'm out and about with people, I always say, like, what do you do? Where do you live? Like, I'm always asking people. I didn't grow up in the town where we live. I know everyone in this town. And the reason why I do is because I love to talk to people. It's probably where Isabella gets it from. But I try to take someone under my wing, invite them to an event, tell them about how to use, LinkedIn, what associations exist, and almost like being their sponsor informally.
And you're great at it. Yes, you are.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, I've made a lot of connections through you. So when you see your inbox for LinkedIn like flashing, this is why Networking BFF. She has invited us into her world. So
yeah, I've never seen so many connections on LinkedIn. Like I have LinkedIn, and I'm like, first of all, how the heck do I use this thing? I'm on there. I have all my degrees and my job positions, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
We gotta listen. ACHE gives a good seminar LinkedIn class. You better, Jeffrey. I expect to see that name on the next time.
I know. I have a lot of associations and things to start getting to, but now that I'm almost a year in. So now that I'm getting my feet underneath me, I'm going to start, branching out a little bit more.
Yes.
I love it.
You're a senior now. In the work world, after 30 days, you're off training. So
You're no longer a scrub.
You're no longer in scrubs. So guys, we play this game after every segment. It's called Toolbox or Trash. And what it is I give you a few items and you say, I'm going to keep it in my toolbox. It's beneficial. I would pass it on to family, friends, my networking community, or Janaea, get rid of that. Kind of like we just discussed with the library. I am still shocked that we are studying at the winery. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go ask my kids and be like, guys, when you study for a test, where do you go?
Well, the problem is, I feel like nowadays, especially in nursing school, I don't know. This is how our friend group is, and I think Izzy's the same. Like we do a lot of studying in groups.
Yes.
Like whether it's writing on notes and. To be fair, our library did have like study rooms that we could use, but we were way too loud.
Okay.
To be studying in the library.
Gotcha.
And, you need that little bit of excitement to keep you going when you're on those 8-hour grinds where you're just like, oh, I just want to be over with this. But it's good to do it with a group, so we always just decided to go somewhere that we could be a little bit more social.
I got you.
It's that work-life balance too.
I'm not mad, Isabel.
You gotta have a little fun.
Listen, Kim, now when we have our BOG study groups.
That's what we should do. Winery.
Kevin, are you listening?
That's right, Kevin. We got a new recommendation for you.
Yes, we do. So my first item, especially now, millenniums don't come for me. Is it Gen Zs? What's the age group now? Instagram influencers. Are we keeping them in our networking toolbox? Or are we throwing them in the trash? Don't cancel me. But what do we think? I'll give this to Isabella and Jeffrey.
I would say keep, because it's kind of a talking point for me and my coworkers. They're like, oh my gosh, I just saw, Nurse Blake or Nurse John, and oh my gosh, this video. It's like, it's something we can all relate to most of the time. And a lot of, there's like specific nurse influencers who give advice on like nursing school, NCLEX tips. Some do like daily NCLEX questions, which are super helpful. So I think those are keep for me. I'm gonna keep them.
All right.
I honestly don't know that many Instagram influencers. I've heard of like Nurse Blake and these other creators. I've seen more stuff like when I was in school, because how our phones just decide to pop up everything you talk about throughout your day.
Yes.
So when I had an exam on the cardiovascular system, all of a sudden my whole TikTok page is just filled with stuff related to that. So I think social media definitely has that benefit to kind of break down complex, whether it's systems or concepts, and help you out with that. And definitely it's good for networking as well. But for me, I don't necessarily see it as something that I was a key essential for me. So I would probably not care too much about that, but I could see how it's
the trash with that one. You're going to the
trash. Don't worry, we got one in one, Jeffrey. Don't we're all family here. Don't worry. Don't worry. Kim, this one is for you.
Ooh.
Online nursing communities. I can talk, guys. I promise you.
Online nursing communities. When we're talking a long time ago. Okay, so I could see that now those might be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
We did so much like face to face.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, no, I don't think so. Because I still think the connection of being face to face
is genuine,
makes a big difference than the text or the FaceTime or the look. When we had COVID, we moved everything to video platform. And honestly, after being in the hospital a long day and being on with a bunch of people and just sharing our stories, it was wonderful. But I still love that face-to-face connection.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have been the best. And as we conclude today's episode, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for joining us. Please, audience, make sure you go out and check out CT Make-A-Wish, ACHE, huge. You guys are doing great things, and I commend you. I want to thank you for joining us for this episode of Networking Nuggets. If you found today's discussion helpful, please share this episode with your network and leave us a review. Your support is invaluable and helps us reach more people with these important insights. Until next time, keep building those connections and empowering one another. Remember, it's all about spreading practical advice for powerful networks. Toodles.